Hello, it's Rachel at From Moments to Milestones, back with a new paper pad card kit. These are Christmas cards. We use the Happy Holidays 6x6 pad from Echo Park, and we are going to create these 7 cards. In Slimline. If you purchase the kit, you'll get these written instructions with pictures of each card and a list of the supplies we used to create the kits. So we will go ahead and get started. We're going to start with this card here. So the first thing we're going to do is, I don't know if you can tell here, but this is the blue piece that is embossed, and we want to pull out the patterns so that we can see it better. So I just went over it with white ink. If you don't have a white pigment ink, you could use sandpaper. This paper has a white core, so that would work as well. All right, I have some Yeti pigment ink here, and so I am going to just rub that over. I'm just going to get a piece of scratch paper to put underneath so I don't have to clean my surface. And I'm just going to drag it right across the panel. And you might get some on your background. I can see I did, but that's okay. Most of it's getting covered anyway. So I'm going to set that aside to dry while we work on the rest of the card. So let's get out. You should have 4 dark blue pieces for your mailbox. And we are going to ink them lightly with some black soot, just dress ink. So I'm just going to do, oh, this was pretty inky already, so just real lightly. And this will just help these pieces pop once we layer them up on this big die cut here. All right, so we got that. And I'm going to go ahead and glue those pieces on. So this piece goes over here on the side. This is for the opening, and then this, there are some deboss lines in there, but it goes right there in the center. So, and I just glued those straight down. I didn't use any foam. All right, that piece is going to go right there. And then this piece on the side. So there's your mailbox, and then we're going to go ahead and glue on the handle, if I can find it. You should have a very small, should have this piece here. Oh, there it is, I see it. It's clear over here. And this piece. So how this works, you can see here, those little circles go at the top, and then you're going to glue that big solid piece onto, if I can get it, onto that. So it's going to look like that, and then you'll glue it on. So really what I'm going to do is glue this little piece on first, and then I'll glue that other piece over the top. So that's going to go in the center. And then this piece right over. Okay. Just going to put a little black over that to hold that down while that dries. And so let's move on to these little pieces over here. So you have the candy cane, the red candy cane, and the white part with the stripes. So I'm going to glue that white onto the red. Okay. Your berries are already glued on. This piece we are going to cut in half, so I'll go ahead and do that now. So right down here where there's that big opening there, I'm just going to trim that off. We've got two pieces. And then you should have, these are supposed to be green. You should have 2 envelopes, and then you have 4 of these triangles. So I'm going to layer up the white first, and then I'm going to put the color on top. And that'll just give it a little bit of dimension. You can just glue on the colored pieces too if you want, but it cuts them both out at once, so I just included that. And you could certainly do blue if you wanted, but I've got pink and red here. There's that. All right, so there's your 2 little envelopes. Now one other thing we need to do is you have this paper here, and you have this stripe that came from the other side of it. And it is kind of printed crooked on the paper, so some of you are going to have this white line here. So I'm going to try to put that towards the bottom, because on the card here nobody's going to see like below. So then it won't really matter that it's there. And I'm going to try to match up, which I can. Let's see if I can show you that. Right here at the corner, I'm going to lay that just like so, so that the stripes match up, and I'm just going to glue that to the edge, and I'll trim off the excess. Okay. right, so that is on there. And now we're going to build up our card. I think that's pretty good and dry. So you can see it dried back quite a bit. So if you want, you know, more of that white to show, I would definitely suggest sanding instead. You will definitely get, that'll definitely pull the white up. So I'm going to put this down on the card base. And then this piece should line up at the bottom and just about 1/8 of an inch over from the right side. Just like so. And then we have this white snowbank, and you can have it be as thick as that. Mine's a little bit thinner. It's totally up to you. And then we're going to trim off the excess. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and put that full thickness on there. Scissors here and trim off that excess. All right, so there's that. And now we are going to put our mailbox on. So just like so. And I'm going to try not to cover up. That's going to be, I mean, you can certainly go up higher if you want, but then you don't get all the stamps. So about right here, but I'm going to put foam on the back. I'm not going to put foam on this opening here, oops, which I almost glued shut. So not on the opening, so we can tuck stuff inside. All right, I've got all the backing peeled off of that foam tape, and I'm going to go ahead and glue down my mailbox. So right there. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and open up that little bit, and we're going to start tucking in our elements. And you can, I'm going to tuck them first, and then I'm going to kind of go back and add foam if needed. So, and I like to use tape runner if I can, in case I want to move something around. So I've got those two envelopes kind of like so, and then I've got one of these behind, the pink one, and this kind of in between. Do it like that. This piece is going to be over here. And that piece behind. So I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, and we have the candy cane, which is also behind. So let me tuck that in real quick. All right, so I'm just going to go in with my wet glue and secure, oops. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. So I do have a few little pieces of foam. I'm going to take the backing off, and I'm going to tuck one behind the candy cane, and that will keep that one where I want it. There we go. I'm going to tuck one behind this piece here. Put some wet glue on the bottom so it's secure. Piece. Right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on that one, so we're ready to secure that one as well. And then I'm gonna open this up, and that little opening right there, I'm gonna put some foam, and that will keep that closed but also open. I'm gonna put 2 layers. So I'll put down 1 layer and cut another one. Put it right on top, and then I'll keep that open. Just like so. All right, and that first card is finished. All right, our next card is Wishing You a Holiday Season. That is Marion Bright with this pretty joy ornament. There's lots of little pieces. You should have 2 pieces of thread in there. I think my other piece is over here. All right, so you should have a really long piece of thread and a shorter piece. So we're gonna start with the stitching on this O. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way first. So everything else, I'm gonna slide over, and I just need this round piece and your longest piece of thread. You're also going to need a needle. So I have a needle here, and I'm also going to get out some score tape, some double-sided adhesive. All right, so I have like I don't know if they're called self-threading needle, but it has that little top where you can just slide it in. You don't have to put it through the eye. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, but you need to thread your needle either way. All right, so that is threaded, and then I'm going to double it up, and you can tie a knot if you want. You don't have to. We're going to just tape it off on the back because even if you tie a knot, it would still come through. So you can if you want, but it's really not necessary. So there's that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up through the back through that center, and I'm going to pull all the way through, almost all the way, until I have about that much hanging off the back, about a 1/2 inch or so. And I'm going to get a little piece of double-sided adhesive, or regular Scotch tape would work, and I am just going to tape that down. Okay, so now that's secure, and I'm going to just pick a hole, go down through the top, and you're just, oops, I'm not even on camera, sorry about that. So I came up through the center, tacked it down, went down. I'm going to keep repeating that. So up through the center, and down, and just pulling. You don't want it super tight, you don't want to tear your paper, but you do want to keep it nice and tight if you can. I like to hold on to it back here, that makes it a little bit easier. Almost finished here. We've got 2 more. So I'm going to go down, up through the center, somewhere, there it is, and down, and now that is all stitched. So it's like that, and so you're going to want to pull it tight. We're going to tie it off. So I'm going to kind of come across from where I pulled up. I'm going to come over here and do a little loop, tie a knot, and then I'll keep it nice and tight, and it's tied off in the back. So I'm going to trim that, and then I'm also going to use another piece of score tape over that just to make sure it doesn't come out. Okay, So now our little, put that away. Our little ornament center is stitched, and we can move on with the rest of the card. So let's go ahead, and we need our red joy and our vellum shadow. So we're going to glue that red joy onto the shadow. So get some tweezers. All right, so let's center that on there. Go, and if you need, find a block to hold that down. And then you should have 2 green joys, and we're going to glue those on top of each other. These are going to kind of act as our foam tape, because nobody wants to try to cut foam like skinny as that Y right there. So that's just going to go right on top. Line them up. Now mine's a little off cut here, but that's okay. You're not going to see that anyway. All right, so I've got my double layer of joy, and what I'm going to do is flip this over, and I'm going to glue it to the back, lining it up with that joy there. So you won't be able to see it through the front, but it's going to kind of pop that joy up off of our page. So I'm going to put glue on the front. And then I'm going to line it up with the joy on the back. So just like so. Looks good. Flip it around. Put something heavy on it. And then what we need to find is this little gold piece here. Pick it up with my tweezers. It's the little gold ornament topper. We're going to flip that joy over, and you should have a smaller piece of thread left, and you're going to stick the thread through the top of the ornament. Okay? So that's all I'm doing right now, is just that. And then I'm going to put some glue on the bottom of the ornament. I'm not going to put it on the top so I can move that string around later when I want. I just want to have it on there. And then that piece is going to go right here on the top of that O. And now you have that ornament string hanging. So it's going to look like that. And now we're going to take our red plaid piece. I'm going to hold on to this, and then I'm going to place it about in the center, about an inch down from the top. Okay, so centered about an inch down from the top, and then I'm going to wrap. So I'm going to get a piece of Scotch tape. I'm not going to glue it yet. I'm going to do this part first. This is where I want it, and I'm going to wrap that around and secure it on the back. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue that part down. Okay, I'm going to hold on to it like so. Pull that tight. Perfect. So now I have my joy on there. Okay, And this is going to go in the center of that O. So I'm going to put some foam on the back. All right, so my joy's on there. I've got foam on the back of the O. I remove the backing and I'm just going to put that right in the center. So, and then you should have, well, we'll wait for the finishing touches. I'm not going to worry about the center just yet. So now what we're going to do, we have that piece ready, is we're going to put this red piece onto the green polka dot piece. Okay, just going to center that on there. All right, and now you should have this sentiment that's on vellum, and it should be a little bit longer than your card because we're going to wrap it around. So we're just going to center it, and you can use that plaid there to get it nice and straight. So we're going to center it under the word joy and get it where I want it. And I'll pick it up first. I think my joy is a little not centered, but that's okay. And I'm just going to wrap it. So we'll wrap that one, pull it taut, and wrap that one. And so I'm just going to come back here and add some adhesive to secure that. And then I'll grab my runner and put adhesive around the back, and we're going to put this onto our white card base. So there's that, and now we are going to put on the finishing touches. So you should have some stars and these gold half pearls. One of them is going to go in the center of your O. I'm going to start there. I'm going to start with the largest one, and that's going to go in the center. And then let's scatter our stars. You may have more stars than what you need. We'll see. Feel free to use whatever you have there. So I think I have, yeah, it looks like you might have an extra star in there, so you could certainly use it if you want extra stars. You could use them if you want. This is going to go up here. So I'm just going to get them where I want them, and then I'll glue them down. And since I have an extra star, I might go ahead and use it up here. Okay. So we'll go ahead and glue those down, and I'll be right back. All right, so we have the stars and the half pearls down, and then our finishing touch is going to be, I just have to find what I did with mine. The, oh, they're stuck to my shirt. They're on press and seal. Your little holly berries and leaves. So if you're struggling to get these off, one thing you can try to do is take a sharp edge, and that should get it started. Or you can try to cut close to them, but that's really the easiest way. And so I'm going to pull all that on there, or off of there, get them down in front of me. Okay, and so I'll start with the two holly leaves. And these are so small that I feel like it's easier to glue one to the other, and then, so I'm going to do it like that with those, and then I'm going to put that piece down, which I think I may have used foam, just a little piece. So just cut a couple of those strips down. Put those on. So I just have them off to the side like that, and then we're gonna add on those 3 berries wherever they went. Oh, they're green on one side, so there they are. So 1, 2, 3. So there's that. And that card is finished. All right, our next card is Happy Holidays with this adorable Christmas sweater. So let's see. Let's start with these 2 pieces here. So what you need is the sweater piece and the white square. And so what we did with this is that, because there's holes on this sweater, I wanted the holes, I wanted to be able to see the white in the background and not the red. So we're going to glue this on. So you don't need to worry about the cuffs and obviously this part that's hanging off, but we want to get that white behind it. So I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to trace around where that sweater is. You could glue it down and then trim the excess as well, but this is just as easy too. All right, so there's the sweater on there. And now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut inside that line, so that just inside of it. And I can glue it. And I don't need the heart. All right, so I have that piece cut, and now I'm going to line it back up. And if I have to make any adjustments, I can. There it is. So we're going to glue it so it's just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and hold that down, put some glue down. There. And this arm here. All right, so now we have that sweater where you can see the white in there behind. And let's go ahead and put our little details. So you have this, the neck, you have the bottom, and the cuff. We don't have a cuff on the other side, so I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. And then we're gonna put that sweater onto our card base. So you could line it up like that if you wanted. I can have mine tilted the other way, so a lot of that sleeve is gonna get cut off. So whatever you want to do, I'm gonna go about right there. And so let's go ahead and glue him on. I should have put glue on there first, maybe. Okay. And I'll go in and trim off that excess. All right, so there's that. Make sure that little piece gets glued on. Oops, a little too much. All right, so we have our sweater on. And now let's go at, now we can glue this piece onto our white card base. So flip that over. And center that. You're gonna have a very thin white border. All right. And now we need to do this banner, but I have it colored in. So anything you want to use here. If you have a Copic marker that matches, a colored pencil, whatever, even a pen would work if you had a red pen. I have a Prisma Crimson Red colored pencil, and I'm just going to color that in. All right, so I have the Happy Holidays cover colored. Could certainly put some, not glossy accents, like a glitter pen over it would be pretty too. So I'm going to go ahead and put some foam on the back of that. Do I have any more strips? Nope. Do that. Probably use, nope, maybe not too many. I got a weird bubble. There we go. All right, and so that is going to go across just like so, and then I'm going to trim off the excess. So I'm going to remove the backing. And we're going to go right there. Trim off the excess. Okay, that's not straight at all. There we go. See if I can straighten that out. All right, that looks good. All right, so we've got that fixed. And now we need to fussy cut our Santa. So I left green, since we're putting it on the green sweater. And I left a good amount of green, probably like 1/8 of an inch or so. All right, there he is. pop him up. On the sweater. Pull off the backing. And he's going to go right in the center of our sweater. All right. And then we're going to finish off with our snowflakes. So we got these here. This one's down there. I think we have another small one down here. I'm going to place them and then I'll glue them down. I'm just trying to figure out what's front and back. All right, I'm happy with that. So I will glue those down. And then you also have a couple of clear rhinestones, and I put those, I just picked a couple of them, and these are like on a chain, so you're going to have to cut through them to make them separate. And then I put one in the center of this big snowflake and the other one down here on that one. So, and that card is finished. All right, our next card is Happy Holidays. May your days be berry and bright. And we do have a little bit of coloring to do, so we can start there. So these two are like the backs, because when you open this card, you can see the backs of those little polar bears. So we're not going to do any coloring to those, but these two. So one I chose, and I just try to pull colors out of the paper. So whatever you've got, I used just a Crayola set. So I got some reds and greens. And then I did use a light blue to go around the edge and some pink for his ears and cheeks. So I'm just going to go around the edges of his face. And I'm going to go just a little because we're not going to get his feet or anything, so I'm not going to worry about those. Those are going to be hidden. And then I have some Gamsol. It's in this little container with, it's on a sponge, and these are paper stumps. And so I'm going to dip it in there. You can see it's getting wet, and I am going to use that to melt colored pencils and just kind of blend them out so they're not just lines. I like to use little circular motions. Like that. The other one. All right, and now I'm going to put some pink in his ears, and I'm just gonna do a little bit on his cheeks. So, and you can use, I'm gonna use the other end of that and just kind of soften those. So there's that, and then we'll do his, his scarves. So. So I like to go in, especially I'm using an inexpensive colored pencil, just with a base layer, and then I'm going to come in and color harder and darker with that. Kind of put in my dark spots. And then when I come in with the Gamsol, I'm going to start in the darker area. And it'll just smooth out my lines, and you can't really tell that I used a colored pencil. So there's that one, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the green. And then I'll use the green end. All right, so there's the scarves. The little polar bears are colored. And let's see, I do have a little bit of white gel pen. You can see, so let's see. I'll grab that. Make sure that's, yep. I'll just put a little lines like so. And put a little on his nose too if you wanted. Cute. Just a little detail. You could go without that. All right, so those guys are ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and layer them up. So I'll flip them over and match them up. We're just going to glue those straight down. It'll just look a little bit cleaner on the back of our card. And just like that. All right, so there's our two little polar bears. We'll set those aside, and then we'll work on getting this card together. So let's start with the two long blue pieces. So your card is going to open like this. I suppose if you wanted it could open like that, but I'm going to have it opening like this. So we're going to put a blue piece here. And the other piece is going to go like inside that panel on the right side. So it'll end up looking like that. So we'll start with this one. This one in here. Okay. And now you have the two light pieces, and so you can have your lights going up or down, but they should match up. So that looks like it matches, and they're going to meet up in the middle. So like on this one here, you're going to have a border all around, but not in the in the middle part, so that the paper meets up, so there's no blue. Now if you wanted to, you could move it. It won't be completely even, but it's up to you. Make sure they're the same at the top and the bottom. Okay. Make sure I got it going the right way. Down. And this piece, we're going to match it up. All right, so now your card opens like that. And now we have this sentiment. It's ready to go. We're going to put that onto the dark blue piece of paper. Just center that on there. Okay. And then that is going to go in the center, but we're only going to put adhesive on the left side. But let's put our bears on there first. I got a little ahead of myself. So I'm going to put, let's see how I want them. So I want them both. You could have that, however you want to do it. Let's see, I have one higher than the other. I like that. So I'm going to just go in and glue it. Shoot. All right. Put a little glue right here in the front. All right, so there's your little bears. And I'm going to get them where I want it. And I am going to make a little pencil mark so I know where to put my adhesive. I'll just use wet glue. All right. Let's go in, line that back up. Make sure it's straight. Perfect. Wet glue will give you a little wiggle room. Perfect. Make sure that's on there good. And there you have it. So that card. Now, I did do this on this card. I don't know if you can see it. I'll probably skip this step for the video. But I went in with some clear, you know, I use art glitter. It dries clear. And I went on every single one of those lights, on that string of lights, and then added rock candy distress glitter. So they kind of have a shine. So that's a fun little finishing touch. But that card is finished. Okay, our next card is Have a Sweet Christmas. And let's see. We will start with the base of the card. Now mine's going to look a little different because I cut mine wrong. That last card we just did, I accidentally cut this paper in that way. So I'm just going to butt them back up to each other and put them on there like so. Mine's just going to have a white border, and I'm okay with that. So. Yours will not. Yours should cover the whole surface. So go ahead and glue down that star or sparkle paper, whatever you want to call it. So sure it matches up. Okay. All right, so as long as you don't look close, you can't even tell that that's split. And then I'm going to put the border down the side just like it is on my sample. And you'll have some excess to cut off, so I'll just line that up. trim that off. All right. So there's that. And so now we're going to put our little postage stamps together. So you have your stamps, which maybe we'll start there. We will lay those out. It's supposed to be green. Okay. Now the only one that matters is you have this, the one that says Have a Sweet Christmas should go on the pink square, and then the rest of them are blank. So just like, you'll have an extra square. I'm just going to pitch that. That's going to go there and there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. All right, so our stamps are put together. So now we'll just build up. You can dump out your little bag of goodies. And let's start with the candy cane. So find the white piece. We're going to glue it to the pink. All right, and then we're going to stick that onto the red stamp. Glue that on. I'm going to just have it turn slightly. So there's that. And then you have a blue bow, and that's going to go on the candy cane. So I'm just going to put a little dot of glue in the back of the bow, just like so. That one's done. So the blue one, we have 2 hearts. So we'll start with the largest. I'm going to put that in the center, slightly offset to the left so we can put that other heart. Like so. That one's done. The blue, we have the 2 hollies, so and then the little berry. Oops. It's sticking to my finger. There we go. And I'm okay that they're kind of slightly hanging off of the stamps, like it's fine. And then we're going to finish with these little peppermint candies. So we're going to glue the white onto the red and pink circles. So there's a red. Okay. And And then I'm just going to lay those up on this green. So start with the pink, and the red. All right, so now we have our little stamps all created, and I'm going to put foam on the back of all of those. And then we are just going to line them up. So I'm going to start over here. And then we have that one. I'll just get them where I want them, and then I'll peel them off and stick them. That looks good. All right, and that card is finished. Okay, our next card, Dashing Through the Snow. So this one should go together pretty quickly. We're going to go ahead and put down that the red snowflake paper onto the white card base. All right, and now we have two hills. One with lots of bumps and the big hill. That's going to go in the back. That's going to go here. But we are going to place this die cut so that we can still read the word snow, but it's tucked just so into, so it's going to look just like that. And so I'm going to go in with a little glue. You can use tape runner, whatever you want. And get it right where I want it. And it's okay if it covers up some of the, you just want to still be able to read what it says. So if some of it's covered up a little, that's totally fine. Okay. And so then that is going to go in the center. So we're going to have to do some trimming, and then this is going to go in the background. So I think that looks good, but we want to be centered. So that's the biggest thing. So I'm going to take a pencil, I have one out here, and I'm going to mark where to trim, because I'm going to put foam on the back. This whole thing's popped up, so it's going to be easier for me if it's already trimmed to the way I want it. So it's centered this way, so I'm going to make a mark right there, and I'm going to get out my trimmer, and I'm going to trim that right where I marked it. Take that part off, and then this card is 4 1/4 across. So I'll cut that other piece off. So now we have that just the way we want it. Okay, so it's going to look like that. I'm going to go ahead and put foam on the back. See if I have any more strips in here. I'm going to go get some, because that's going to be, oh, actually, you know what? I have a big roll of foam tape right here. Let's just use that. All right, so that piece is ready to pop up, but before I do that, I'm going to put some tape onto this piece, And I haven't glued this down yet, but I'm going to hold it where I want it. And then I'm going to go in and tuck this behind so that I want to make sure I don't want to see red. So I'm going to make sure it's on there like so. And then I'm going to trim it off. Perfect. And now I can remove this backing and put this piece down. All right, so I'm gonna get all that backing removed. I'm gonna go ahead and put that down. All right, so we have that down. And then we have a couple of these little trees. So there's 3. And I have the little shortest one is right here, and it's just glued straight down. Put him right there. And then this tallest one is back up here on the hill. Right there. And then this one is going to tuck in behind. So, and if you need to put some foam back in there to keep that tree up, you certainly could. So there's that. And so really simple, quick and easy card. So I added some glitter to kind of jazz it up a little bit. And I don't know if you can see the lights hitting the little row of lights on the car there. I put dots of glossy accents on there, so that's kind of a fun touch too. So that's how you can finish off that card. The glitter I did use on the snowbanks, and then I put it on the side of each tree, even the tree up on the car, is this Hero Art Snowfall glitter. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll go ahead and do that. I got some scratch paper and glue. And so for the trees, I just did a little line just on one side. I'm going to do it here too. And then I'm just going to follow that stitch line. And then we're going to put on the glitter. So just like that. All right, that card is finished. All right, our very last card, Be Jolly, 'Tis the Season. So let's dump that out. I think I've got a holly berry stuck in there. There it goes. All right, so let's start with, let's get out our frame, and then you're going to need the 2 Santa pieces and the Be Jolly square. So you're going to put, not really right or wrong, I don't think, you're going to put these Santa papers on the 2 ends, and you're going to put the Be Jolly in the center. Now this is just going to just fit, so you get it where you want it. Here's what I like to do, is to take some Post-it tape. I have that almost right where I want it, and I'm going to tape it on there, so when I glue it from the back, it's not going to move. These we're just going to center on there and they'll be fine. So for these, I'll put some glue around the frame. Make sure my Santas are going the right way. I might move them a little so they look a little more centered. Glue around the frame. Santas, those are centered. All right. And then this one, because it's so close, I'm actually just going to tape it down with actual tape, because I don't even know if there's enough to glue it. So that's not going to go anywhere. Okay. So once we have that done, I'm going to put foam on the back. Well, let's do this first. Hold on a second. You have this strip of green, and we're working with this 6x6 pad, so it's not going to stretch across an 8.5 card. So we're just going to center it on there just to add some more color and break up the white. All right. So let's center it on there. I'll use my grid mat. There we go. Now we can put foam on the back of that and stick it down. So I'm going to use that roll of foam again. All right, I have foam on the back. I removed the backing, and I am going to center this onto my card base. Just like so. And now we have the 'Tis the Season white banner in green. We're going to layer the white on top of the green. We're going to offset it slightly so we can see the green behind the letters and on the edge. Like so. And then I'm going to put foam on the back of that. Okay, and that is going to go just below the 'Tis the Season, or the Be Jolly. So we'll go ahead and just center that below there. There it is. And then you should have 2 sets of holly leaves. So we're going to have a pair coming from the bottom left and the top right. And I pop these up as well. So I'm going to get out some foam squares for that. There's a big one there. Put another one up here. Not sure I like where that landed. I'm going to pull it up a little. I got to remember the berries. And then I'm going to cut them in half. I think I'm going to need to for these skinnier ones. And I'm just going to put it at the top because they are going to overlap at the bottom. Pull off the backing. And I'll put a little glue on the bottom. Like so. Same thing for this one. All right, and then we have the berries. So you have this 3, which we've used before on the other card. And then this time we have the 3 little berries you can layer on top. So there's those. Actually, I kind of wonder if those should have had foam behind them. I'm going to cut another one in half and tuck it behind each berry. Would have probably been easier to do when I started, but that's okay. Sometimes. I'm just going to tuck that under there like so. There we go. That way it won't get flattened. All right. And then what we'll do is put nice big dollops of glue we're going to add these berries. They are going to slightly overlap each other. That's why I like to use lots of glue so they stick. All right. Flip them over. They do have little cut like highlights on them, so I do like to keep those all going the same direction, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. All right, that card is finished. Well, that wraps up this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you're interested in a kit, you can find us on the web at frommomentstomilestone.com, and you can search for our card kits there. This is the Echo Park Happy Holidays. Thanks for watching. See you next time.